Another international fighting tournament. And it looks like SIN is behind this one. Can't shake the feeling that something sinister is happening behind the scenes. This all feels so familiar. I must be on my guard. Fighting always feels familiar to me, like coming home. Probably because I've been doing it since I was a child. The fight is a form of communication. It can lead to understanding. It holds a meaning deeper than mere words. Looks like I'll be sparring with a lot of fighters this time. And I expect I'll meet some old friends again as well. Interacting with these fighters will guide me further down the path of becoming the ultimate warrior.
Sagat.
I was waiting for an opponent like you.
Ready?
Let's get started! Fight! I come for you.
I'll finish this.
Uppercut!
Prepare yourself.
Why won't you attack? Make me less open.
Hadouken!
One shot.
Gotta keep this up.
Strong. No one.
So, part one of this was a test to see if I could make a video with commentary, and I got really bad sound balancing at the end, but I'm hoping that the sound balancing will go through better this time now that I know what I did, and I'm also hoping that I will have better footage, because I was just working with what I had on my computer, and none of that really got the point of the video. None of the relevant information was being shown like I had planned. So I'm going to do better with this video, hopefully. I'm going to go over some of the same points, and then I'm going to say some new stuff at the end of this video. Or at the end of the audio. Once the audio stops, once my narration stops, it probably won't come back, so don't worry about that. But yeah, so this intro took a minute and 8 seconds. Alright, so, something I hate about fighting games, that isn't control related, is I guess disjointed stuff. Hitboxing can sometimes be wonky. I was playing Marvel Infinite, and this attack I did totally should not have landed. I don't know if I recorded it, okay? So don't go looking for the footage. The attack totally should not have landed, and yet it did. It was Frank West's Tools of Survival or something like that. The one where he throws a pie. I was level 3, and I missed by like a mile. And so when Frank had actually done the attack, it went into the animation, whatever. The enemy was like 3 feet behind Frank, and yet Frank was hitting them. It was like the wonkiest shit I had ever seen. But yeah, that kind of stuff I just hate. I know that it's hard to fix, But I mean, Smash Bros. Doesn't even try. Oh, their hitboxes are round and stuff, and they don't even fit, and some moves have a spiky hitbox when you definitely shouldn't. Oh, like, I'm sure I got some footage of Smash Bros. Being wonky as hell up in here. Then again, maybe not. I could purge a lot of my Smash videos. Back to controls. Delta motions and pretzel motions are retarded. So Maximilian, the video I was talking about last time was stop nerfing fighting games, and it was captioned with like real talk. And yeah, accessibility has the risk of alienating your audience. I said that Marvel Infinite didn't really feel like a Marvel vs. Capcom game. I don't know why those words came out of my mouth, because it feels like a true evolution of Marvel 3. It's just that it's backwards in some area, or in some areas. It's like they had one idea right, and for every right idea, they ruined another thing. So rather than being like a perfect evolution, it's like a hodgepodge of good and bad things from the series, you know? There's actually another point to this. There was we have like bleh, words, am I right, fam? There's a nurse, Zach, my brother, the one from what I'm sure is going to be my infamous coronavirus video. He has a trach and whatever, and numerous other problems, diaphragmatic hernias, so on. So he has nurses that come and help us out at the day and at night. One of them, he's awesome. They're all awesome, but, you know, he in particular, he engages in conversations. We were having me and Chance were having one conversation, and Chance was being kind of dumb, jokingly. But I cut my hand really, really badly, because I dropped a glass jar of salsa. My parents were asleep, so I was like, alright, I guess I'll just, instead of asking what's for dinner and waking them up, I'll just make myself a snack or something. So I was gonna make myself a quesadilla. I realize this conversation's going a weird place that has nothing to do with the rest of the video. Bear with me. I was making a quesadilla, and I dropped the salsa. It shattered instantly on impact, and it sent some of the glass back at me. It got my arm a little bit, and nicked my arm. It got my hand, obviously, because I was shielding. My dad swears that, like, no, it doesn't bounce like that. You touched it, and you tried to pick it up, and you cut yourself. I'm like, no, dude, if you even look at the cut, I'll have a picture. Actually, I don't know if I'll have a picture in the video, but you'll see the picture at some point. There's a small scratch, and then right above it is a huge scratch, indicating that if I had touched it, it probably would be one solid scratch, but since it's split up into two scratches, that it bounced. Sorry about that interruption. That was from one of the nurses that I mentioned before. She's cool, but you know, she had to come out here and get some supplies for Zach. I record in my garage. It's like pretty loud when I'm in my room, and then I get complaints. So generally I just chill out here. Also, it's quieter. Except for one time there was like 3 gunshots. I don't know what the fuck that was all about. Anyways, no one was hurt by the, well, someone was probably hurt, but no one died. Though there was another time where someone did die. That was unfortunate, but this last time I'm referring to that. Anyways, I dropped the salsa, and it cut me, and then I cleaned it up. I got it my foot. That kind of sucked. But I never once touched it with my hands. And it touched me. Anyways, yeah, so me and Chance were having this conversation because as it happened, and he was like, you may know him as Aqua Phoenix or Hero Brian. He gets, I also called him Waterbird once.
Hasn't changed.
He gets credited under different names as I see fit.
I fought many terrible
Um,
I'm curious. Have
but,
I become stronger thanks to
yeah, so, yeah, so we were at, and I was like, what's even the point of a glass jar? You can just put it in a plastic container. And so then the nurse, he was like, well, it's supposed to be I think I've heard like it's supposed to be temperature regulated or something in there. It's supposed to be insulated a little bit better than plastic. Of course, neither of us knew if that was true or not. We were just kind of, saying some things we had heard. And then like 10 minutes later, he comes back and I'm like, careful, there's glass everywhere. And then he's like, oh, I see what this conversation was about. It was the funniest shit ever. But then, he was like, we were talking about Dragon Ball and the Potara and stuff, and he chimed in like, I looked it up, it's not permanent anymore. We filled him in, because it kind of is permanent, supposedly. I'm not really sure. Dragon Ball Super confuses me. It's just retcon on top of retcon on top of retcon, and then just inconsistencies. So as good as the show is, very inconsistent. And also in terms of power scaling, it's just ridiculous. The manga even has this problem. Roshi goes toe to toe with Jiren, and I don't give a fuck. Honestly, I don't give a fuck whether Jiren was going at like 2% of his power. From what I've seen, Roshi should have been swatted away like a fly. That's in the manga. Also, the show is censored unnecessarily. Like, there's no blood whatsoever. There are like 2 times where I remember blood. Goku getting shot in the chest with a laser. Which, again, is part of the inconsistencies I was talking about earlier. That should not be able to hurt him whatsoever. I don't care if he was caught off guard. He gets shot in the face by Bulma's SMG several times over the course of the original series. Most notably in the first episode. And he was 6 then. You expect me to believe that now he's become a literal god and lasers are still a massive problem. And then some people shot him and Krillin earlier in the series. And, they're immune to bullets. What are you talking about? Krillin I can maybe understand. But Goku, just because he's distracted does not mean that should land him. If this was Pokemon, Goku would get distracted and they would have landed a critical attack. Are you feeling what I'm putting down? It's the stupidest thing. But anyways, back to the point of the video. The nurse was like, once you get all the combos down in Dragon Ball FighterZ, it's basically you just infinite somebody. And I was like, not exactly, but you're pretty close. You're generally pretty close on that mark. Because yeah, Dragon Ball FighterZ, due to accessibility, I think, it ultimately damaged the game in the long run. But characters have auto combos, right? And I think if they just tweak the damage values and stuff, it'll be fine. Maybe they tweak how much health you have and stuff too. It would be fine. But friggin', I don't see these combos happening to too many people, or with too many characters. But frickin' Broly, I can do nothing to get out of Broly's auto combo because it connects to itself twice. And you can extend it further by using assists in between. You may have seen it on the channel. My brother does that all the time. He figured it out, and he's just like, yep, guess I'm going to do that for the rest of my life. It never ceases to kill me. Sure, I can take out like 5 of his guys, or like 5 of his guys. Psh, yeah, as if there are that many. That's spitting numbers. Like, after a while, I'll be able to take out 2 of his guys, but the damage is already done. If I get lucky, I can take out Broly beforehand and then beat him. Because now he doesn't have as many assists available, and he doesn't have, Broly handy. Because Broly's the guy who does that shit. We're talking about Dragon Ball Z Broly. Dragon Ball Super Broly is fine, seems pretty balanced. Still can tank, like, a lot more than he should be able to tank. But whatever. And so... So, what the hell? So, confusing inputs and, like, over accessibilitation. Fuck, I'm stupid. Making things overly accessible and inputs make and break fighting games, to be honest with you. You don't want it too accessible, because in the eyes of a company, accessibility just means dumbing down what was already there. Oh, was that you're super excited for Dragon Ball FighterZ 2? Well, now guess what? You have each button on the controller correlates to a different auto combo. You can mix and match auto combos for greater effect. Or you can just mash literally any button on the controller. Obviously, this would never happen. It's that stupid. But you get what I'm saying, right? And then crazy inputs. I mean, because, like, I beat this to death earlier. The delta motion, it's like a half a triangle. It's displayed as half of a triangle. That doesn't explain anything. I was looking up how to do these moves earlier on mobile. Not on mobile, just in general. And I came across a video of a mobile version of Street Fighter 4. You should have seen the joystick, because they didn't take the joystick out of the video, because the joystick, obviously, they needed to do it. But you should have seen the crazy freaking motions this joystick was doing, man. I mean, if I had to do that on my 3DS version of that game, because I have that, it's like Street Fighter 4 or Super Street Fighter 4 3D edition or something. It has this awesome dynamic camera angle, which pisses me off that you can't use that in regular, or in like the main game, but whatever. So if I had to do that on there, that thing would be broken. I picked up that game not really when I literally the last time I played that game was, I don't want to give a year, but I was really young and I sucked at fighting games, so I played as Ryu a few times, I played as Chun-Li a few times, and I mean, back then I didn't even understand what a charge was, let alone a delta motion, which I still don't understand now. So, when I'm playing a fighting game, just tell me the directions I need to know. Don't give me these weird symbols. If you go look up, and if you're going to give me these weird symbols, at least, like, you have this thing on Street Fighter 4 called, like, the explanation menu, which tells you what each thing means. So, it's like, HP is heavy punch. Or the white arrow means you need to charge in that direction. Why not just tell me that the delta motion, or this triangle means a delta motion, and then tell me how to do that motion? Has this triangle legit helped anyone? I have Googled how to do this half triangle thing. And I couldn't find anything on the internet about that. So then I went and Googled, how do you do this move, such and such. I can't remember what it was called, but it was with Guile. And then someone said, what is this half triangle thing on the AMA thing, or on the Reddit thing, not AMA, on a Reddit thread. And someone said, oh, if you're trying to do Guile's move, the or the delta motion is probably what you're referring to, and it's da-da-da-da-da. Again, I don't know what it is, but the frickin' Z. Imagine what directions you would be putting in if it was a Z. You know what I have going in my head? Forward, down, back, and then forward. Forward, down, back, forward. So that's a forward, down, back is one thing, forward. That's what a Z looks like to me. When it should really just be forward, forward, down, down, forward. It's that easy, and you're not even doing it right, Capcom. Like, that pisses me off to no end. And again, I still don't know what a delta motion is. I have the triangle in my head, and I can't even... What? So that would be... back? Up? Forward? That would just be backing up forward, and that's certainly not what it is. I've cracked it. I've cracked it. So, yeah, and that doesn't work when I try to do it, so that's dumb. Capcom. What the fuck? This video, man, it's going to go on forever, isn't it? And then there's, dude, I have, like, the song from Mega Man X stuck in my head. It was in the, what's it, like, the Spark Mandrill stage theme? I have to think that's what that is. It was in, this video post by Terminal Montage called Something About Mega Man X. And it's like... that was a horrible job of imitating it. But it's stuck in my head. Basically, there's this part where X is just sort of dashing away. And then he starts doing the drum... he starts doing this drumming motion in it with his hand. He starts doing this drumming motion with his hands. And then he says, yo... this music is really good. And then he's like gets in a guitar battle with or a bass battle with Spark Mandrill. And then he just shoots Spark Mandrill and he dies. But the song is stuck in my head, man. I don't know if that was a remix or if that was just the actual song. Either way, the one thing people remember about the X series, if they've never even played it, or if they just watch videos on it, probably the music. Like, they played it, like, one time when they were 3. To this day, they still remember the music. Yeah, I'm gonna stop torturing you guys there. What was the rest of this video? There are some weird things. Like, honestly, I think they just need to stop with these weird symbols and just show me, like, the directions. Like, the arrows. Show me with arrows what I'm supposed to do. 1 forward arrow means I'm pushing forward once. 2 forward arrows means I'm pushing forward twice. A angled...
You're not gonna make a move. Then allow me.
A Shoryuken would be a forward arrow. A arrow that's in between, or that's like angled somewhere in between down and forward. That would be the down forward. And then a down. Fuck, I did that in the wrong order. So it would be a forward arrow, a down arrow, and then an arrow that's in between down and forward. So it's like a diagonal arrow. You know? Like, is this really that hard for them to develop? Like, I don't get it, man. They went and designed this cool little symbol that I can't make heads or tails of instead. Oh, cool, it looks like a Z. What the fuck is a Z? And then the thing just says, assumes character is facing right. And it's like, it doesn't matter if the character's facing right, it's a Z. No, man. Like, I can do a down arrow, a down forward arrow, and a forward arrow, and I'm like, oh, that's a quarter circle. Instead, you just have this, you know, it's like a quarter of a circle symbol. That's fine for that. But the Z really doesn't make any sense to me. Does that make any sense to anyone? Please comment down if you think that's a good idea. And yo, Capcom, if you're watching, I don't mean to be rude, but does this make sense to you? Any of what I'm saying? I think my next video is going to be on what I want from the next Marvel vs. Capcom, so stay tuned for that. Over and out. I feel stupid saying that.
This is the ultimate fusion! Gogeta! Win! Looks like you can't seem to catch a break.
What's up? Getting awfully cuddly with Katana.
I, don't know what you mean.
Just remember, you're Earthrealm's champion.
Round one, fight! Round two, fight!
This is why I am champion.
Liu Kang wins.
is over before it even starts.
The battle for Earth! It's do or die! Fight! First attack!
Power up and
Air combo! Alright! Cool! Air combo! Cool! Double air combo! Alright!
I am a force of nature.
Crossover combination!
Before you will die.
Danger! Crossover attack! Level 2! Advancing guard!
That's far enough.
X-Factor! Advancing guard! Level 1! You have saved the Earth!
Now squash you like the bug that you are.
You win! Thank you for playing!
With you, I can survive in any kind of shopping mall.
Do you think you can defeat us? Ready! Fight! Obliterate! Target locked! How about this one? Excellent!
Reality stuff at the marvel!
Brilliant!
You're gonna feel this! Pop it!
Let's go to town! Nice shot!
Level 1, air combo! Yes!
Let's go to town! Yeah! At the marvel!
Eat this!
Level 2,
Eat that! Reality stone!
reality stone! Contemptuous fool! We will erase you!
Reality stone!
Reality stone! Burn to death!
Reality stone! Reality stone! Reality stone! You're gonna feel this! Right!
Reality stone! At the marvel!
We'll crush you!
Reality stone!
How about this one?
There's no escape! Take that!
Let's go to town! Let's go to town! Yeah! Hold on! And it's out of here! Marvel!
Level 1. Brilliance! Reality
You're not. Here it comes.
Maximum!
You're gonna feel this. Pop it.
How's that? How's that?
You want some of this?
Level 1.
Marvel!
You're gonna feel this. Power blaster.
Let's go to town!
Yes!
Got the Marvel!
Yes!
Reality stone.
Destroy!
Reality stone. Photon blast. I'm pretty much the boss of space.
Reality Stone!
Got the Marvel!
Reality stone. You're gonna feel this. Pop it.
Reality Stone!
Batter up!
Level 1.
Batter up! Nice shot! Got the Marvel!
Target locked!
Power.
Level 1.
Nice shot! Nice shot! Nice shot! Batter up!
Unification!
Got the Marvel!
Brilliance!
Power.
Level 2.
Nice shot! Batter up! Batter up!
House that!
Got the Marvel!
I'm pretty much the boss of space. You're gonna feel this. Power blast.
Away we go!
Level 1. KO! Congratulations!